The new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was first introduced in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and it's not only one of the more bigger Fazbear locations in the franchise, it's also one of the more fleshed out locations in terms of our knowledge from its opening till its closure. It was opened in 1987 by Fazbear Entertainment, after the previous location closed down because of the missing children's incident. So to combat this, Fazbear's built plastic new robots with facial recognition to catch any predators or criminals that are in the pizzeria. But these precautions weren't enough, since after 2 weeks of opening, the place closes down because of another child incident, and much more. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a deep dive onto the restaurant's history and analyze its exciting and hopeful reopening to its quick downfall into tragedy and eventual closure. Let's talk first about the building itself. It's much more bigger than the previous location, which we know is the same building as the FNaF 1 location, with much more party rooms, arcades, a carousel, and even more attractions. But as we can see in the game, the place is lazily put together and is not taken care of properly. I mean, how hard is it to clean a spilled drink? This thing is left untouched for a week, and how does it not dry up at all? Anyways, the location doesn't even have a kitchen. How the hell is this a pizzeria when there's no pizza? Anyways, you see what I mean. The place was sloppily built and not taken care of properly, which could mean Fazbear's just wanted the restaurant to open as fast as possible. Now, let's talk about the attractions themselves and the characters that housed them. We know from Phone Guy that the old animatronics were planned to be used again in this location, and even modified them a bit with some of the newer technology.
The idea at first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them with some of the newer technology.
The old animatronics we see are Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, and the puppet. But that plan fell through since they were deemed too terrifying and ugly. Their smell was also a reason they didn't use them.
But they were just so ugly, and the smell.
That's of course because of the children that were rotting inside of them for months. Speaking of them, at some point the company must have found these corpses, since they're not visible on the wizards. So what if the real reason the company didn't use the old mascots is that they found the corpses when they started modifying them, and to not get the attention of the police, got rid of the corpses, and instead opted to build new robots. But one of the old characters would still get used. That would be the puppet. The company built new robots with plastic shells and called them the toys. Phone Guy tells us that the company spent a small fortune on the toys and that they are able to move around and that they are equipped with facial recognition that is tied into a criminal database. They obviously built these robots with more safety features in mind. The toys are of course Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Funtime Foxy, BB, and JJ. Just a side note, when I say Toy Foxy is called Funtime Foxy, I don't mean she is the same Funtime Foxy in sister location. They are two separate robots with the same name. The reason I call Toy Foxy Funtime Foxy is because in FNaF World she is named that way. So now let's ask the question of, did Henry build these robots? We know Henry built Fredbear and Spring Bonnie and the other old characters, but did he build these robots? The simple answer is no, since in the 6th night's phone call, Phone Guy tells us that the company are trying to find the original restaurant owner, which is Fredbear's, the restaurant that Henry owned back in '83.
We're gonna try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
So by now, Henry has left the company, possibly as a result of his daughter's death. So now, let's see where the robots are located in the restaurant. Of course, you have Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica on the main stage. You have Funtime Foxy in Kids Cove. You have the puppet in her gift box at the prize corner. BB and JJ are at the game area, and the old wizards are in the parts and services room to be used for parts. The location opens in 1987, and we can assume that the place was a hit with children, because you see a lot of kids' drawings on the wall, the paper pals, and the total destruction of Funtime Foxy, turning him into Mangle. How swell. The owners hire their first night guard, named Dave Miller, and they give him a flashlight and a spare withered Freddy head to use against the wizards. But unbeknownst to them, Dave is actually William Afton in disguise. He was able to fool the managers because of his change in appearance. What I mean by that is, in the novel trilogy, when Freddy's was opened and the missing children incident occurred, William was described as a fat and hefty man, and then 10 years later, he lost his weight and used the name Dave Miller to get a job at the abandoned mall where the old Freddy's was located, and because he lost his weight, he wasn't easily recognized. So I think in the game universe, the reason Afton had two different sprites was to show what he looked like at the time. In 83 and 85, he was fat and hefty, and in 87, he's skinny. That's my explanation on how William was recognized when he was hired as the night guard. He then starts surviving a week against the wizards and the puppet. But in the middle of his week, he hatches a plan to kill more children. He uses a yellow suit and lures 5 kids to stay with him until the place closes and everyone leaves. After that, he kills them and their bodies are scattered around the place. The puppet, with the help of Withered Freddy, tries to save them, but William deactivates them. We don't exactly know what William did with the bodies. My best guess would be he got rid of them and didn't stuff them into the robots. Now, let's talk about the yellow suit William used to lure the kids. A lot of people think William used Spring Bonnie, like in the first missing children's incident. But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. William actually used the Golden Freddy suit. Let's go through the evidence, shall we? Firstly, Spring Bonnie is most probably sealed inside the safe room in the previous location, like we see in the Follow Me minigames. And we know Fungi in FNaF 3 told us that when they sealed the safe rooms, everything inside will be sealed with it, one of those things being Spring Bonnie. And in FNaF 2, we also see a drawing of Golden Freddy singing to a couple of children. Golden Freddy isn't supposed to be used, so this can't be just a random performer. This means that the kid who drew this must have witnessed William luring the kids, thinking he was a new character, and drawing him. Also, in Night 6, when Fungi mentions someone using a yellow suit, Golden Freddy is activated and tries to kill us.
We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
So the answer for what suit William used is most likely Golden Freddy. Maybe that's why Cassidy is more angrier at William. He used her vessel to kill more children. Another question that pops up is that, why did William do this? What did he gain from this? The most likely answer is that he wanted the new robots to be possessed by new victims, after he sees his old victims possess the old robots, possibly to see if the same strategy will work, and later use this knowledge for the creation of the Fun Times. Or if Circus Baby's Pizza World already closed at this point, and the plan of using the Fun Times already failed, he possibly goes back to his old strategy to get the robots possessed by new children. In the end, his experiment worked, and now the toys are possessed. Dave Miller tells the manager that the toys started moving around during the night. Clearly, William is trying to play innocent. So the managers bring in the engineers to see what the problem is, but they couldn't find anything, and chalked it up to them not having a proper night mode.
The first guy finished his week, but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So, hey, lucky you, right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seemed to move around at night, and even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode.
Then after surviving his week, Dave kept complaining to the staff about the moving robots and poor conditions, so management transfers him into the day shift, and Jeremy Fitzgerald is hired as his replacement and is the second night guard to work at the location. Phone Guy then records messages to Jeremy during the week telling him how to survive the night. And as Jeremy's week is progressing, the downfall of the new and improved Freddy Fazbears has begun. During the night, the Withers and the toys try to kill Jeremy as well as the puppet. While Charlie is more aware than the others, she is possibly blinded by rage because she couldn't save the children and mistakes Jeremy as William. During the day, rumors have started to surface about the 5 kids that disappeared at the new location, and Fazbear's denies any claims.
Oh, hey, before I go, I wanted to ease your mind about any rumors you might have heard lately. You know how these local stories come and go and seldom mean anything. I can personally assure you that whatever is going on out there, however tragic it may be, has nothing to do with our establishment. It's just all rumor and speculation, people trying to make a buck, you know. Our guard during the day has reported nothing unusual, and he's on watch from opening till close.
But then the police get involved and start an investigation at the restaurant to find out what happened to the kids.
Okay, so just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days, I don't know.
The toys also start acting unusual towards adults. They even started menacingly staring at them. But they act normal towards children.
Just as a side note though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics tonight if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems, we're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive towards the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Their behaviors are getting worse as the week passes by. In the investigation, the police looks through every employee record to find the suspect, and when they see a worker by the name of Dave Miller look very similar to William Afton, the main suspect of the last missing children's incident, they put the location on lockdown, and no one is allowed in or out to try and catch William.
Hey, keep a close eye on things tonight, okay? From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, you know, especially concerning any previous employees.
Unfortunately, William was one step ahead and had already left the location and ran away into hiding. Fazbears and the police tried to contact Henry to help them find William, but they couldn't reach him. The toys act even more aggressive towards the customers, and the location quickly loses popularity. Phone Guy informs Jeremy that after his week is done, he will be transferred into the day shift as Dave's replacement.
When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. Our position just became available.
The police find evidence that William used the yellow bear suit to lure and kill kids, and they shut down the restaurant for the day. But unknowingly for Jeremy, he goes back for his 6th shift. Phone Guy tells him about the bad news.
Hello? What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night.
And informs him that there will be a birthday party for tomorrow, and that he will be on day shift to make sure the animatronics don't hurt anyone.
We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
Jeremy survives his 6th night and goes to the birthday party as the day shift guard, and none of the animatronics are acting right anymore. Eventually, during the party, one of the toys bites someone's head, and an ambulance was called. Everyone evacuates from the building, and the victim goes to the hospital for recovery. That was the last straw for the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Fazbear Entertainment announces that the location will close indefinitely, and the toys will get scrapped, but they will reopen someday. A night guard by the name of Fritz Smith is hired to be Jeremy's replacement. but after tampering with the animatronics, he's fired, and Freddy's closes down. In conclusion, the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza only lasted 2 weeks, with 5 kids murdered, a person that lost their frontal lobe, and the reputation of Fazbear Entertainment becomes more tarnished. Thank you so much for watching this video, hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And yeah, see you on the flip side.